Welcome to the screencast of Small Steps, Addiction Recovery One Step at a Time. Our sponsor for this project was Craig M. Traub, criminologist and clinical psychologist who specializes in addiction. Let's have a look at our problem statement. Recovering addicts need two things, routine and connections, which are difficult to acquire when they just start out. We create an environment that helps users create a new routine tailored for them and create meaningful connections with others who understand them. We'll look at some of our features and additional features right now as we show you the application. Let's have a look at the Small Steps application. To start off with, let's sign up. We can choose pretty much any username here. So let's choose Screen C for Screencast. Some of this information has been pre-filled just for our convenience for the demonstration. Alright, so once you've logged in and signed up for the first time, you'll see this, which is the extra crisis functionality, as well as this little blue pop-up, which is used to guide users through our program. So first off, it says enter your basic personal information to help you out of a tight spot. Alright, so this extra crisis functionality is for paramedics who might find you, and also so you can add a number from your contacts list for an emergency contact, so they can be SMS'd when you're in trouble, and it just shows them your location as well as that you need help. Right? And then we just have some basic stuff here, penicillin allergies, etc., etc. All these are very important stuff for the paramedic to know. Right, so we'll just upset that. Fill in all the, oh, right, of course. We haven't actually added, let's just say, aka my good friend. There we go. You can also opt out, of course, but here we get to tasks, one of the core features of our system, which allows you to have tasks, have a routine based on yourself. So here, first to get to know you a bit, this sets the internal level of our users, and that level is used to decide what tasks to show them. So how much do you want a new routine? I really want a new routine. Not really active though, let's say 2 stars. Alright. Once you click Let's Get Going, you'll be sent to tasks, as well as some small information. Right. First off, it tells you that you can get new tasks right over here. And you can add a task. And you can see these tasks are fairly simple because they're based on a user who's just joined and a low internal level. Every time they complete a task, they will increase their level. So let's say, for instance, he wants to go for a walk. Alright. And then it says completing a task. So we can say right swipe to accept, left to decline. Right? So later on in the day, he does go for the walk. Oh, does go for the walk, and that completes that task. And wow, achievement unlocked. Achievements are a great way to up engagement with users and also make them feel accomplished, which is very important for addicts. And you can also just view any of your completed tasks over here. Alright, another part of this system over here is goals. Now, goals are very useful to achieve long-term things for the user that they set for themselves. So, yeah, you can add a new goal right here, and let's say that they want to get a job. Get a job. Alright. And we can just add tasks to get to that job. So, for instance, write a CV would be a good one. And what about apply online? How about that? Oh, if only I could spell. Alright. And there we go. We can just click this to accept. And here is our actual goal. We can do these things piecewise like this. And once you've actually completed your entire thing, it'll give you a little notification saying, well done, you've completed your goal. Alright. Next up we have expressions. Now, expressions are a place for you to view something that everyone else has written. Other users write, and you can write yourself. And when you go into one, you can actually see what they say. So maybe today will be the day that the weight is lifted, and we can see the sun for the first time after the rain. You can upvote or downvote, as well as report. As you can see, you can create your own expression, but we won't be doing that now. Let's head over to journals. Journals are a great way for users who are kind of out of touch with their emotions to talk more about themselves, talk more about how their day went, and kind of just help them express themselves. Right, so this user right now doesn't really have much to say, kind of had an okay day, just writes something small, and then we can see right here that the journal is written right there, and you can click on it and view it. Right. We also have sponsors. So now this is an incredibly important part of our system. Right, sponsors are connecting to somebody who understands what you're going through, right? And there's two options. You can get a sponsor or you can even become a sponsor. But seeing as they're a new user, they just want to get a sponsor. What times are you available to communicate? Morning, or anytime actually. How things situated, haven't been long on this, and they have seen a psychologist. And you apply, firstly you get another achievement, which is fantastic. But you also get a sponsor. And we'll see right here, we have our sponsor, Dan the Man. And when you click on him, you can actually chat with him, right? Fully functional chat. And let's just pop him a message that's just, hi, how's he doing, you know? And then when he logs in next, he'll see that we're his new sponsee, and he will be able to message with us as well. Right, last little bit over here on this bar is meetings, right? Meetings are just AA meetings, NA meetings around you, and it's ordered by the ones that's going to be the most recent, as well as it only shows you the ones that are for your province. And if you click on any of these, it will open up a navigation and send you right there, right? But we don't need to go there right now. All right. Okay. And then at the very bottom here, as stated before, we have the SOS function, right? We click on this, and first we need a location, and we have just some emergency numbers for substance abuse, any government, and also mental health. Texting emergency contact will text your contact your location, as well as just a small message saying you're in trouble. And extra crisis info is, of course, that info that you put in earlier. And this screen will stay on permanently, so that when the paramedic finds you, he'll be able to see it immediately. Alright, that's it for the application. Let's head over to the website and see what's going on there. Alright, here we have our desktop web application. And this is for psychologists as well as just administrators in general to view reports, as well as to add tasks, just view some expressions, even add meetings and achievements, as well as a sending invitation, which allows the psychologist to send an invitation to a user so that they can see the psychologist report of that user. So let's head over there. So over here we see that we have Jane, a long-time user. We have some small little bits of information, so she hasn't done much this week, but one of our newer users has done some decent amount of stuff. And we can actually click on this and we can see a more detailed report of this particular user, right? And this is a very interesting thing right here, the 47.2% chance of relapse. Now this is calculated based on a few studies that show what specific things are good to have when you're recovering, as well as what factors might cause you to relapse. So we take those factors and we try to extract as much as we can from the application and their interaction with the application, and then we calculate this percentage. Of course, it's mostly a rough estimate, but this can show a psychologist whether or not they're actually using the application, as well as if they're doing all right. And over here we can see where this user's been spending most of their time, as well as tasks completed which days, journal ratings, not the journals themselves, just the ratings, as well as their expressions. And you can even click on them to see what this user has been writing about their day. And of course, you can unlink with them at the bottom in case you no longer are seeing their clients anymore. Right, over here we have some user reports. Now, new users joined in 1 week. You can see that right now we're actually down 72%. But we can increase that to a month, and we can see that the previous month there's not any data, but for this month we've had 64 users joined. Here we have deleted users in 1 week, this just shows us if we're having a spike in deleted users, so we can see maybe it's correlating to something we added or something wrong we did, as well as the deletion reasons, so we can know why users are actually deleting this app. And here are the specific ones if they didn't choose one of the preset ones. Alright. Up here we have Mobile Activity Report, which shows where users are spending their time. Right? We can see most users are spending their time on expressions, whereas most of the other things they're not spending much time on. This is very important so that we can see where users are spending their time and improve the places where they're not spending their time, right? Like goals or chat perhaps. Over here we have some task report, as tasks are very important. We can see the top most completed tasks, right? So go for a walk has always been completed when it's been accepted. Something like apply for a job has been rejected 80% of the time. We can also see here, based on task level, right? This is the internal task level. We can see how many rejected and completed tasks there are. So we can know if perhaps one of these levels are too difficult or even too easy. So we can adjust some of the levels of the tasks in that level bracket. Right, and here we can just see how many we have in each level, so we can know whether or not to add more. For instance, task level 500 is a little low, so we should add more there to round out that level when users get to it. And we can also see active goals versus completed goals, so we can see if users are actually completing their goals and react accordingly, perhaps giving them an incentive if they're not completing goals very much. Our last report is Expressions Report. Here you can actually see the front page of expressions as it is shown to a user. We can click on them and view them. This is important so that we can see what's actually being shown to our users without having to install the application ourselves. Here we can see how many expressions are being added, so we can know whether to alter the front page algorithm, which is based on votes. We can know whether to alter it or to keep it the same based on how many pieces are being added. And we can also see journals. Journals are a very important part of recovery, and we need to be able to see if users are actually adding journals, and if they're not, incentivize that somehow. And here we can also see our most downvoted expressions. These are important so that we can see what kind of expressions the users don't like, and perhaps implement an algorithm in the future that automatically filters out expressions that are similar to these. Alright, that's all for now. Thank you very much for watching the screencast of the Small Steps application. Have a great day.